What's up, guys? Welcome to May 29th as we dive into Proverbs chapter 8, where it talks about the wisdom calls for a hearing. Listen as wisdom calls out. Hear as understanding raises her voice. On the hilltop along the road, she takes her stand at the crossroads. By the gates at the entrance to the town, on the road leading in, she cries out. She cries aloud, I call to you, to all of you. I raise my voice to all people. You simple people, use good judgment. You foolish people, show some understanding. Listen to me, for I have important things to tell you. Everything I say is right, for I speak the truth and detest any kind of deception. My advice is wholesome. There is nothing devious or crooked in it. My words are plain to anyone with understanding, clear to those with knowledge. Choose my instruction rather than silver, and acknowledge rather than pure gold. For wisdom is far more valuable than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with it. I, wisdom, live together with good judgment. I know where to discover knowledge and discernment. All who fear the Lord will hate evil. Therefore, I hate pride and ignorance, corruption and perverse speech. Common sense and success belong to me. Insight and strength are mine. Because of me, kings reign, and rulers make just decrease. Rulers lead with my help, and nobles make righteous judgments. I love all who love me. Those who search will surely find me. I have riches and honor, as well as enduring wealth and justice. My gifts are better than gold, even the purest gold. My wages better than sterling silver. I walk in righteousness in paths of justice. Those who love me inherit wealth. I will fill their treasures. The Lord formed me from the beginning before he created anything else. I was appointed in ages past, at that very first, before the earth began. I was born before the oceans were created, before the springs bubbled forth their waters, before the mountains were formed, before the hills. I was born before he had made the earth and fields and the first handfuls of soil. I was there when he established the heavens, when he drew the horizon on the oceans. I was there when he set the clouds above, when he established springs deep in the earth. I was there when he set the limits of the areas, so they would not spread beyond their boundaries. And when he marked off the earth's foundations, I was the architect at his side. I was his constant delight, rejoicing always in his presence. And how happy I was with the world he created, how I rejoice with the human family. And so, my children, listen to me, for all who follow my ways are joyful. Listen to my instructions and be wise. Don't ignore it. Joyful are those who listen to me, watching for me daily are at my gates, waiting for me outside my home. For whoever finds me finds life and receives favor from the Lord. But those who miss me injure themselves. All who hate me love death. Wisdom has built her house. She has carved its 7 columns. She has prepared a great banquet, mixed the wines, and set the table. She has sent her servants to invite anyone to come. She calls out from the heights overlooking the city. Come in with me, she urges the simple. To those who lack good judgment, she says, come eat my food and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways behind and begin to live. Learn to use good judgments. Anyone who rebukes a mocker will get an insult in return. Anyone who corrects the wicked will get hurt. So don't bother correcting mockers. They will only hate you. But correct the wise, and they will love you. Instruct the wise, and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous, and they will learn even more. Fear the Lord is the foundation of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One results in good judgments. Wisdom will multiply your days and add years to your life. If you become wise, you will be the one to you will be the one to benefit. If you scorn wisdom, you will be the one to suffer. Paul of folly calls for a hearing. The woman named Folly is brash. She is ignorant and doesn't know it. She sits in her doorway on the heights overlooking the city. She calls out to men going by who are minding their own business. Come in with me, she urges the simple. To those who lack good judgment, she says, stolen water is refreshing. Food eaten in secret tastes the best. Food eaten in secret tastes the best, but little do they know that the dead are there. Her guests are in the depths of the grave. Psalms of Proverbs, chapter 10. The Proverbs of Solomon. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise child brings joy to a father, a foolish child brings grief to a mother. Tainted wealth has no lasting value, but the right living can save your life. The Lord will not let the godly go hungry, but he refuses to satisfy the craving of the wicked. Lazy people are soon poor, hard workers get rich. A wise youth harvests in the summer, but one who sleeps during the harvest is a disgrace. The godly are showed with blessings, and the words of the wicked conceal violent intentions. We have happy memories of the godly, but the name of a wicked person rots away. The wise are glad to be instructed, but babbling fools fall flat on their faces. People with integrity walk safely, but those who follow crooked paths will be exposed. People who wink out wrong cause trouble, but a bold reproof promotes peace. The words of the godly are a life-giving foundation. The words of the wicked conceal violent intentions. Hatred stirs up quarrels, but love makes up for all offenses. Wise words come from the lips of people with understanding, but those lacking sense will be beaten with a rod. Wise people treasure knowledge, but the babbling of a fool invites disaster. The wealth of the rich is their fortress, the poverty of the poor is their destruction. The earnings of the godly enhance their lives, but evil people squander their money on sin. People who accept discipline are on the pathway to life, but those who ignore correction will go astray. Hiding hatred makes you a liar. Slandering others makes you a fool. Too much talk leads to sin. Be sensible and keep your mouth shut. The words of the godly are like sterling silver. The heart of a fool is worthless. The words of the godly encourages many, but fools are destroyed by their lack of common sense. The blessing of the Lord makes a rich person and makes a person rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Doing wrong is fun for a fool, but living wisely brings pleasure to the sensible. The fears of the wicked will be fulfilled. The hopes of the godly will be granted. When the storms of life come, the wicked are whirled away, but the godly have a lasting foundation. Lazy people irritate their employers, like vineyard to the teeth or smoke in the eye. Like vinegar to the teeth or smoke in the eye. Fear of the Lord strengthens one's life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. The hopes of the godly rescues or results in happiness, but the expectation of the wicked come to nothing. The way of the Lord is a stronghold to those with integrity, but it destroys the wicked. The godly will never be disturbed, but the wicked will be removed from the land. The mouth of the godly person gives wise advice, but the tongue that deceives will be cut off. The lips of the godly speaks helpful words, but the mouth of the wicked speaks perverse words. And so that's the end for today. Something that just really stood out to me about today's reading is like like wisdom. You can't find wisdom in um the earthly realm, in this world. It's not like a material that you could just possess. It's through meditation. It's all about the mindset. It's all about the heart. It's all about your spirit. I think that's why it is like why wisdom is so much more important than earthly things, because earthly things can't fill our deepest longings, our deepest desires. I think all of us in our spirit really truly desires for something, right? But the things like we try to look for other things. We look for things of this world. We look for towards friends. We lean on friends. We lean on materials to hopefully satisfy our soul. Hopefully, it was satisfy our soul. But the things like nothing can satisfy one's soul unless that soul finally submits themselves to God. And it's really cool because like the fear, because in verse 27 of chapter 10 it says, fear of the Lord strengthens one's life, but the ears of the wicked are cut short. And the reason why that's significant is like, you know that when you submit yourself to God, when you love God out of true love for God, your life, you God like this, like you live a life where it's fuller, where it's so much more meaningful than a normal person who has no faith in God may just see you as a boring person. But like with somebody who puts faith in God, you the view your views on of this world, your views on this lifetime is so much more different than the people who may not even understand what you're saying, may not understand that peace that you have in life, while everything around us, while everything around you is going insane, is going crazy, and it's chaotic, it's violent. And so like yeah, it's like um yeah, and then there's just a lot like written in this chapter 10 that's really it's just like a very distinct of, you can really tell who is wise and who is not so wise. And like how sometimes like you have to wonder, it's like sometimes you don't want to categorize people based on their actions, but sometimes I don't know, it's like you kind of sense have to, in a sense, because like the way they present themselves to public, presenting themselves to peers around them, are very ungodly. And as you look, it's like somebody could be talking, they talk too much, where it leads them, not only themselves but others into sin, as verse 19 says. But like the sensible, but be sensible and keep your mouth shut are the people who are wise, because they don't always need to be running at the mouth. They don't always have to share their opinions about things. Letting God like keep their mouth shut until they really feel like God is leading them to say something. The words of the godly encourages many. And I feel like, and that's right. Like I really do believe that people are, if you're godly, the way you present yourself, the way you talk to people, that it brings, you're building them up. You're building them up. But at the same time, you remember, like, I feel like part of like being godly, being trying to be a godly person, is be able to proclaim the truth to all. And sometimes the truth is not the prettiest thing in the world. So learning to find like the time, or finding the balance between words that build somebody else up and words that seems to be tearing people up, but like in actual, if they actually accept the correction, as it says 17, people who accepts discipline are on the pathway to life, but those who ignore correction will go astray. it's just so like, and it's like test of their character as well. It's like, are they wise by, um, if are they being wise by not being upset, not getting upset over this, not getting overly upset about like a correction, or are they the unwise ones where they do get offended, where they do get upset over you and things? But yeah, and a wise child brings joy to the family. He does not bring grief to the family. Wealth, or does it taunted wealth has no value, but right living can save your life. No matter how much, and this is like the whole, still this whole message is like of the Bible. Like one of the most central things about the Bible is like it's trying to help people to understand that not everything of this world is gonna last. And so we have to stop living a lifestyle as if our whole life, our whole soul, it depends on it. There's a life after this life. And so realizing that no matter the status, no matter the popularity, no matter the wealth we gain, no matter what position we gain in this life, it's all getting thrown out of the window. Because we're not gonna carry those things with us to our to after we die, you know. And so be able to understand like the way to save your life is through right living. But not only that, but like through your submission to God. And then Proverbs 9:10 says, fear of the Lord is the foundation of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One results in good judgment. So when we let God speak to us, when we let God tell us who it may be right, who may be wrong, that's how we like truly live with righteousness. Because we are like valuing God's opinion over ourselves. And that sometimes that takes a lot of control, self-control, because like we want to judge people. That's human nature, is to judge people. But like we're gonna submit that parts of ourselves to God. Say like, God, I don't want to judge people. I want you to tell me who's right, who's wrong. You know, it's like so like for like fully submitting ourselves to let God be the ones, be like God be the one to bring judgment on those who do wrong and stuff. But yeah, whoever finds favor finds life and receives favor from the Lord. And what we said, wisdom does not come from human minds. It's through God. God is the source of all wisdom, true life wisdom. No matter how in, inspirational some people may seem to sound, if it's not biblical if it's not biblical, but have a biblical view, sometimes it's hard to trust if that's really something that's wise to listen to, be putting our time and energy into and stuff. But yeah, I don't have anything else to share, so may you guys go and walk with God today.